So, good morning. Um, so Loretta and myself are still at the Jara Beach Resort. We're woken up right now, and good morning, sir. How are you, sir? Thank you, sir. We're woken up right now. We haven't actually seen anybody outside yet. We're not, we're, we're not sure why that is so, but we usually go out very early to take a walk. That's one of the reasons why our marriages have actually worked. You know, one of the reasons why our marriages have actually worked up till now. Um, I've told you that the first reason why our marriage has worked and is still working right now is actually because we have learned forgiveness. The truth is, we have learned forgiveness. Um, All right, so we're trying to, at this point in time, look for our way out, you know, we can't go by the waters. You can see the waters has been boisterous since yesterday, you know. So the water has been very boisterous since yesterday. No, we might not even need to do that. We might not need to go out. Um, we'll do that, but coming up here, I won't be able to climb that place to come up. Uh, but is it okay to? I mean, for example, look at who is that batting naked there, like a cat. Yeah, but why would they be batting that way? All right, look at Loretta. Look at your shoe and everything. So I'm telling my wife right now that because of how boisterous the water is. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see what I'm saying to you? And she's saying that we should take the walk, we should take the work and all of that. You know, he's saying, I mean, our God is saying that we can take a walk to the other side, which I don't mind. You know, oh, um, you know what I'm thinking of doing? Going out completely and taking another path in. Yeah, but we can take a walk round. We can go out and come out this way. Because I saw people taking walks yesterday. All that I've seen yesterday. All right, thank you very much. What's your name? All right, Richard. That's Richard talking to us over there. Richard, thank you very, very much. We're grateful. So right now, we have chosen to do it um, my way, which is go out completely and find a much suitable place to um, actually go out from, rather than being assisted. I don't. I find it very strange when I have to be carried up somewhere, or yeah. My wife says an adventure, which is okay. I like that. I like that it's an adventure, but before you can carry me somewhere, I would I would I will know that that's my last resort. If there is a possibility, if there's a possibility of not being carried up, I would rather take that option. If I know that I can actually first help myself, yes, I like that option. I know that naturally in life um, there are people who don't we don't know if that's the oh that yeah we came this way, but we came this way because of yesterday. Yeah, all right. So don't mind us now. We're trying to get a grasp of our way around. That's what we're trying to do right now. Get a grasp of our way around. But don't forget what I was talking about, because I haven't forgotten. Morning, Ugochukwu. How are you? We left the night already. We're in the morning now. Yeah, thank God for that. How are you, my brother? How you doing? Thank you very much for yesterday. Thank you. Yeah. Bros, how now? Yeah, what's your name? Chris, you want to say hello to everybody? All right, so that's Chris at Jar Beach Resort saying hello to everybody. Right away. This is the way. So right now we come out of the compound of Jara Beach Resort. Coming out of the compound of Jara Beach Resort also means that we have left the security of Jara Beach Resort and we have come into the community, which of course tells us that we're now on our own, uh, depending on the protection of God, basically. But why not? I mean, we've always known the protection of God all our lives. You know, when it comes to building, when it comes to protection, that's all we have always known, the protection of the living God. This is the way I was talking about. You know, it's been said that um, if God does not build a house, the builders actually build in vain. If God Himself does not watch over a city, the watchmen watch in vain. There's no point. It's not saying that um, there shouldn't be a watchman or there shouldn't be builders. We That's not what the Bible is saying. It's saying that it's all right to have builders. It's all right to have watchmen. But if the Lord Himself is not a part of it, if the Lord Himself is not a part of a building, the builders are actually going to discover that they're actually building in vain. And there's so many of us who struggle, especially in our marriages. We're building our marriages all by ourselves. We're putting in too much of efforts trying to build our marriage. So we're building our marriage all by ourselves. Right now, you can see that we're back to the water still, but we did it differently. We did it differently. The part that we took right now, we do not have to be picked up. We can walk by ourselves rather than being picked up or, going down into the beach side, um, now wondering how you're going to come up again. All right, so a lot of us are struggling in our marriages because we would rather not have God be part of what we're doing. Because one thing we know about God is this: it's either God, if God is going to be part of what we're doing, then it means that God Himself is going to be part of everything from the beginning to the end. And that's what a lot of us do not like. We don't want a situation where God is going to take over our lives. And I don't blame us, honestly. For those of us who feel that way, I don't blame us because all we have known all our lives is how men take over our lives, they control us, especially men who consider themselves to be more powerful than we are. They take over our lives, they take over our thoughts, they take over everything. They tell us what to do, they tell us what to eat, what not to eat, they tell us how to live and how not to live. They control us absolutely. But you see, that's men. And that's the mistake we make, when we compare God to man. The first mistake we make most of the time is we compare God to man. God is not a man. And God is not made in the image and likeness of men. It is us men that are actually made in the image and likeness of the living God. Okay, it's us men that are actually made in the image and likeness of the living God. If you understand me very well, that's what happens. We are the ones that are made in the image of the living God. But then that's not even the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make right now is this. So when God takes over our lives, it's not in the same way as when men take over our lives. Yes, God is all powerful, but you'll be amazed to know that God, being powerful, uses his power to enable us to live the fullness of life, to enable us to live life the way he has planned it. And how has God planned our lives for us? He wants us to have a life of abundance. He wants us to have a life of pleasure. And when I say pleasure, please don't get me wrong. I am not talking about erotic pleasure. I'm not talking about that kind of pleasure. Wouldn't it be pleasurable to find out that you would rather honestly, you would rather um, have the ability to get along with your wife or your husband without having to always be under pressure, without having to always have to go through a lot of pressure in relating? Wouldn't you rather want to relate in your marriage and you find out that you are always sincerely understanding each other? You're always understanding each other. You don't have to relate as a couple, and most of the time, you're always fighting. You never see eye to eye when it comes to communication. You never see eye to eye when it comes to making plans, setting goals, because your differences are just amazing. You see, what God does is this: true love, true, real love, unconditional love, love that has respect, love that does not condemn, criticize, judge, make you less than you are. True love that does not make you feel unimportant in a place where you are supposed to be the most important. Through that kind of love, then God gives us the kind of pleasure that we can actually have in marriage. It is pleasurable when you are in a marriage where you can talk to each other and you can enjoy everything that you are saying to each other. It is pleasurable when you speak in your marriage and honestly there's understanding. It is pleasurable. And this is what a lot of us miss when we want to leave God out of our marriages. How can you leave the one who has the original idea about marriage and is always able to show you what marriage is all about? How can you leave that kind of a being out of marriage? How can you do such an evil thing? Because honestly, when you look at it, you find out that it's actually evil to do a thing like that. So what's my point? My point is this: it is true that if you're going to invite God into your life, then be ready to invite him to every aspect of your life. It is also true that when you do that, you will live the rest of your life in pleasure, not under pressure. Because God does not come into our lives to actually make us nothing in return. He comes into our lives to make us everything that we have been created to be, everything that our marriages also ought to be. What am I asking us to do this morning? I'm asking us to reconsider how we have been living in our marriages. A lot of people will tell you, oh, well, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't work out, just get a divorce. And who told you that divorce is a plan of God? Who told you that divorce is one of the solutions to marital conflict? Who told you that there will never be conflict in your marriage, especially for the fact that It's two different people coming together, to get married. Even if you're not two different personality types, even if you're not two different personality types, the fact remains that at the end of the day, being woman and man makes us already completely different. And only one person can actually neutralize those differences, not by destroying the differences, but by making us see the beauty of those differences, admiring those differences, and wanting to actually appreciate them to the extent that we want to be like the other person eventually. We want to learn how the other person reasons, how the other person actually see things, and how the other person, who is not crazy, is able to get things done differently from the way we do it, and yet they get good results as well. And that's where God helps us to become very humble in our marriages, which is where we're told, as husband and wives, to submit to each other in reference unto the Lord, which is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. We love you guys. And like we always say, as long as we're here, as long as our marriages are working, my marriage, that Lorenzo and I's marriage is working, we will do everything to make sure that yours work as well, because we will take you to the one, always lead you to the one who is making our own marriage to work. Thank you very much for listening to this broadcast. God bless you. Don't forget to always subscribe to the channel, and you get more of this. The whole idea is this: God for us, and God always for us. We love you, and we like to just say thank you. God bless you. Take care of yourself now. All the way from Jara, we'll say, that's Jara Beach Resort. We'll say God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. Bye.